Alright folks, we got the second trailer for Star Wars The Acolyte coming June 4th, and that's a little of a month away. The first trailer was pretty much what we were expecting. There was not a lot of information, but this time around, well, you guessed it, it was pretty jam-packed. We got a lot of info. Who's master, who will, for at the very least, be proposed to be the villains or the good guys. And the weirdest thing, of course, watching Padawans, younglings, train without training lightsabers. They were training with sticks inside the Jedi Temple, which is kind of amazing to see. It's not a retcon or anything. It's just something that we would have expected from the prequels, but now in the High Republic era, it seems they didn't use training lightsabers for kids. But the most important thing out of all to come out of this trailer is what fans have dubbed Darth Joker. It's the supposed Sith Lord that appears at the end of both trailers. In the first trailer, we saw all the Jedi gathering in what seems like a jungle setting, and somebody force pushing them so badly that they all were defeated and pushed around in one swift move. But this time around, we've seen this dude up and close. Now, I say dude jokingly because pretty much the appearance is androgynous. We don't really know if it's a female. It could appear to be at the end of the day. Once this person removes the helmet, it could be a female under there, but perhaps a male, as the Sith have been a male-dominated society per se, and the speculation you can imagine went rampant. If this is a Sith Lord, then why don't in the Phantom Menace the Jedi Council believe Qui-Gon that he saw a Sith Lord? Since here we are 100 years earlier, we see that there is a Sith attacking Jedi. And more importantly, who is this Sith? Who is this main villain that is hiding behind a very particular mask? Now, let's talk about the first time I saw this, and my Star Wars comics brain went berserk kinda, because I wanted so much for this to be Lord Momin. Now, for those of you who don't remember Lord Momin, he was a fascinating Sith Lord, one of the more fascinating ones that you'll ever see. He appeared in the Darth Vader comics in 2018. In fact, he was one of the main villains closing out that series back in 2020. He is in fact revealed to be the main architect of Darth Vader's castle, and in the end, he tricks Darth Vader into opening a portal to another dimension so that he could bring back his original self from the dead. Of course, this is only speculation. This doesn't mean that this is Lord Momin. It was just something that I really wished. You understand, Lord Momin was the guy with the mask, the Sith Lord that had that prominent mask that anybody who puts it on gets into his spirit. So essentially, I made the connection through the mask, but in reality, it kinda seems that this might be a retcon for Darth Tenebrous. Of course, there's been a lot of speculation out there that this might be Darth Plagueis, Palpatine's master, but for Darth Plagueis, this is very early. And the supposed retcon is, even if this is Darth Plagueis or Darth Tenebrous, both of them were not of a human species. Darth Tenebrous was a Bith, while Darth Plagueis was a Moon. So now we're talking a full-on retcon, which I don't believe they will do in canon. I think that both of these Sith Masters are going to be the same species we've encountered them in Legends, but this doesn't mean that this could be a failed apprentice, similar to Darth Maul. As we saw with Palpatine, he didn't only have one apprentice and that was it, meaning that this guy could be the apprentice of Darth Tenebrous. We're gonna have to find out in the series if this dude is an apprentice or a master, but my guess is pretty much an apprentice, and he has hired May to be an assassin, similar to how Count Dooku, an apprentice to Palpatine, hired Asajj Ventress to be his apprentice, or quote-unquote his assassin. At the end of the day, it depends on what the creators gave this Sith a lifespan of, because in canon, not a lot is known about Plagueis or, of course, Tenebrous. The only Tenebrous mention we have is that he was the original designer of Darth Maul's scimitar vessel he uses in the Phantom Menace. That is it. That's the only mention we have of Tenebrous in canon. So because this is 100 years before the Phantom Menace, we just don't know if Plagueis or Tenebrous are alive or dead. If everything is correct, this should be the apprentice of Darth Tenebrous, Plagueis' master. And it could be that this Sith apprentice is eventually killed by the Jedi, and they keep it under wraps. You see, there's a new conspiracy theory going around that about the Jedi Council, that they indeed did not reveal what happened during the events of this show. They kept it under wraps in order to not give panic to the galaxy, to the Republic, and to the Jedi Order in total. Only a few select Jedi Council members knew, presumably, of course, Yoda. What transpired here? That there was a Sith Lord that attacked Jedi, perhaps even killed them all, because the Council would find out later on what really happened. And it seemed that at first they did not believe Qui-Gon about Darth Maul, but they quickly accepted it. And even at the end of The Phantom Menace, you hear Windu and Yoda speak candidly about the Sith. There is always a master and an apprentice. There are always two there are. So they know a lot about the Sith, and this might indicate that they had encountered such a being before, but kept it under wraps. Since presumably everything goes wrong for the Sith during this series, during the Acolyte series, this could indicate, of course, that the Sith go further back into hiding after this show is wrapped up, after Tenebrous or Plagueis are testing the waters and showing themselves to the Jedi slowly. The show could end, of course, with this Sith being killed and Tenebrous, the Master, getting Plagueis as his new apprentice. This is how they are finally presented in canon. Perhaps even Tenebrous is doing this on purpose, hiring assassins and getting this Sith apprentice to attack the Jedi, or only to test the waters and only to actually fool the Jedi that we have defeated the Sith once more, so that Plagueis or Tenebrous can go deeper into the shadows of the galaxy and not fear that they will be discovered by the Jedi, since now they are even more pompous, thinking that they have again defeated the Sith. This gives way for the rise of even more powerful Sith such as Palpatine, who completely went under the radar of the Jedi, so much so that he was right in front of their nose and they couldn't discover him. All in all, of course, a pretty great trailer, and I really can't wait for this show because it's gonna fulfill canon, and any show that gives us more canon details, I'm up for it. Talk to me down below in the comments.